I'm James, and welcome to Nomad Nuggets. In today's nugget, we're going to take a look at Pip the Strawberry Snail, specifically the strawberry on his back. I've had several people ask how I created it, and while the process isn't particularly difficult, it does involve a few different techniques working together. So today, I'll walk you through the entire process step by step. This is the first video in a three-part series, so buckle in. Let's start with a new scene. We'll set up our lighting, switch over to matcap mode, and then position our sphere just above the grid. I like to work slightly above the grid so everything stays aligned to the world origin while giving me an imaginary floor to work from. This sphere will become the body of our strawberry. Go ahead and rename it Berry. Next, add another sphere and rename it Seed. Let's validate it so we can sculpt and manipulate it. Turn on X-ray mode and lock your side view. Move the seed so it sits on the surface of the berry. This seed will eventually be repeated across the entire strawberry. From the side view, flatten it slightly, and then scale it down until it looks like a strawberry seed. Now, before we go any further, let's prepare for the radial repeater. Turn on Pivot Adjust, make sure Snap is set to 90 degrees, and rotate the pivot so the green axis points outward, perpendicular to the berry's surface. This will ensure the seeds follow the contour of the strawberry correctly. Turn off Pivot Adjust and return to the regular gizmo. At this point, we have our berry and a single seed positioned on its surface. Select the seed and add a radial repeater. You'll immediately see multiple copies appear around the berry. Increase the object count until the spacing looks right. For this example, 17 copies works pretty well. Now we need additional rows of seeds. So turn off your grid and let's switch to the Insert tool. We're going to set it to clone mode and make sure the seed is selected. Click above the existing row to create a new row of seeds. We're going to continue adding rows upward, alternating their position slightly to create a natural staggered pattern. As the rows get closer together near the top, don't worry if things start to feel crowded. We'll clean that up later. If a row isn't oriented correctly, simply tap the screen while using the Transform tool to switch to rotation mode and adjust it before placing the next row. Continue building rows toward the top, and then repeat the process moving downward. Eventually, you'll have a complete seed pattern covering the entire berry. Now, if we open the scene panel, you'll see that these rows are controlled by a radial repeater. Now let's simplify the top and bottom rows. Take the top seed object out of its repeater group and do the same for the bottom row. Select both of these rows and create a new radial repeater with fewer copies. So you can repeat this process for the rows near the top and bottom until the seed density feels consistent across the entire berry. At this point, we've completed two major steps. Step 1, we've created the berry. Step 2, we've distributed the seeds across the surface. Now we need to create the recessed pockets that strawberry seeds sit inside of. Select all of the seed rows and join them together. Remesh them so they become a single object. We'll rename this object Seeds. Next, clone it and rename the duplicate Seed Boolean. Turn on Paint and reduce the opacity of the Seed Boolean to around 50%. With the seed boolean selected, use inflate to make it slightly larger than the original seeds. This enlarged version will be used to cut out our indentations. Once the size looks good, restore the opacity and hide the original seeds layer. Select the berry and use the seed boolean as a boolean subtraction object. This cuts all of those seed pockets into the surface of the berry. Now, after the boolean operation, run a remesh and a smooth pass to clean everything up. You'll notice the surface immediately starts looking much more organic. Now select the original seeds object. Reset the pivot if necessary. Then scale the seeds inward until they settle naturally into the pockets we've just created. And just like that, we have a believable strawberry surface. Let's add a little color. I'm going to paint the berry red with a touch of roughness. That'll diminish the shine. and then leave the seeds white with a slightly reduced gloss as well. At this point we have a strawberry, but it's still perfectly spherical. Real strawberries aren't perfect spheres, so let's fix that. So select both the berry and the seeds, and let's merge them together with a remesh. I usually use a resolution around 900 or higher. This will weld everything into a single sculptable object. Now switch to the Move tool and let's begin shaping the berry. Pull the upper corners slightly. Let's widen the shoulders near the top and adjust the silhouette from both the front and side views until it feels more like a real strawberry. Don't overdo it. Small adjustments go a long way. And there you have it, a fully modeled strawberry, created using radial repeaters, Boolean operations, and a little bit of sculpting. As always, I'm James, and this has been Nomad Nuggets. If you found this helpful, be sure to follow for more Nomad Sculpt tips and tutorials, and I'll see you in the next nugget.